Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Arkansas Style. I am your host, Nicole Neiman, and first off, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Today's show is nothing short of a good time, so let's go ahead and dive right in with a closer look at what you can expect. Spring is officially in the air, and what better way to celebrate than with fresh flowers and expert tips. Chris Norwood, Little Rock's most award-winning floral designer, will be here later to show us how to brighten up our homes with a beautiful custom arrangement and easy entertainment ideas. And it's no surprise that relationships have their ups and downs, but could physical intimacy be the key to soothing things over when conflict arises? We're exploring that question with expert insight from Charlie Simpson of the Arkansas Relationship Counseling Center, offering a fresh perspective on love, connection, and resolution. And finally, Mac Royals is bringing his powerhouse vocals to a stage for a royal tribute, celebrating Women's History Month in a big way. With a new music out and some incredible recent performances under his belt, he's got plenty to share, and we've got the inside scoop here in just a bit. But before we get to all of that, we're taking you on a culinary journey through Scotland. Joining us today is Connick MacLeod, internationally best-selling author and Hebridean baker, The Scottish Cookbook. In his fourth book, Connick invites us to the heart of Scotland's islands with timeless recipes and charming stories from his childhood in Hebrides. Let's check it out. Well, our next guest has been described by Elle magazine as very sexy, very Scottish, and very outlander. Well, it is Connick MacLeod, and he is very much the author of a new cookbook called The Hebridean Baker. Connick, lovely to meet you.
What an introduction, Nicole. And when you said those three things, I think definitely one of the three ain't bad. I'm definitely Scottish.
All right, well, we'll leave it up to the rest of the audience to judge the other details. But of course, baking is really your jam, pun intended, of course. And you draw a lot of history and folklore, and of course, a very special aunt in your life. Tell folks at home a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, sure. So my absolute hero, my Aunt Bella, she's 96, still bakes every day, inspired me to bake and taught me her traditional recipes. And for those folks who don't know, Nicole, the Hebrides, or the Outer Hebrides, they're the furthest north of the islands on the northwest of Scotland, actually closer to Iceland than they are to England. And so that's why it's so important for me not only to share the recipes, but also the traditions and stories that go along with them.
Beautiful. I mean, I'm sure you do have to stay very warm baking up there, up north. You know, for people who are not familiar with the Scottish traditions and some of these recipes, can you describe a few of them to me?
Yeah, I have to say, Nicole, we do love a recipe with a fun name. I don't know how, but we've got things like cock-a-leekie soup, Callan skink, clootie dumplings, Scots flummery. So I'm always intrigued when people come to our restaurant in Scotland, do they actually understand what they're going to get? But at their heart, they are traditional recipes, hearty, cozy recipes, a very simple set of ingredients. And my cookbooks, I'm not trying to make anybody into a Michelin star chef. I'm trying to get people back in the kitchen. And it's amazing. I'm on my US tour at the moment, Nicole, and they say that there's 25 million people in the US that have Scottish heritage. And I hope my books are a bridge back to the old country, and people will love to see the traditions, recipes, and folklore of the country that they love.
Those are fun names of fun recipes, and I would enjoy trying to make them and say them as well. Are there some key ingredients that go into these recipes?
So obviously I'm a pastry chef to trade, so I definitely lean on the sweeter side of life. And if you want to have a wee Scottish kitchen wherever you are in the world, there is one thing on my Instagram, Hebridean Baker, the number one question I get asked all the time is, what's golden syrup? And golden syrup is one of the main ingredients for so many of our dishes. It's not corn syrup, it's not maple syrup. just call it the nectar of the gods, and you really can't have a Scottish kitchen without that, and black treacle, smoked haddock for Cullen skink, wonderful set of ingredients. And in my book, at the front of the book, I have a thing called Canucks Lardar, where I recommend all my favorite ingredients. Of course, whiskey is very important to us Scottish folk as well, so some good recommendations there.
Interesting. So some of those ingredients that you described, like golden syrup, do you teach us how to make these things?
I do by saying go straight to your local store. There's an amazing store in North Carolina that ship golden syrup across America. So as we say in Gaelic, don't run but jump onto the internet and order these things immediately.
Perfect. Very, very helpful. Again, these are kind of secrets and like you said, traditions in your Scottish heritage. So you and your partner, what would you like for us to know about island life? And then of course, some of your time that you spend off the grid.
Yeah, so I suppose the first thing is being in the Hebrides, we are very proudly Scottish, but we are quite different. We were part of Norway for 400 years. We speak a different language, the language of Gaelic. So culturally, we are very different. And for people who come to visit the Hebrides, which I really encourage you to do, it's such a beautiful place. You could be in a 5,000-year-old stone circle, older than Stonehenge, inspired Diana Gabaldon's book Outlander. You could be visiting the Lewis Chessmen, a set of Viking chess pieces that are from the 12th century that are at our museum. There are so many wonderful landscapes and things to do there. And myself and my partner would actually opening next year our own farm, which people can come and visit. You can come and feed the Highland cows, come for supper clubs, take our puppies for a walk up into the hills. So we'd love to see some folk come and visit as well.
Beautiful. Well, if people want to get a little insight into your life, I know that you have a very healthy social media presence. How would people connect with you?
Yeah, so my Instagram account is Hebridean Baker, and my new book, Hebridean Baker, the Scottish Cookbook, is out now. You can order it from your local stores or from Amazon online as well. And I really hope you'll enjoy not only the recipes, but the stories and the culture that goes along with being part of the wonderful country called Scotland.
Beautiful. Well, Konya, lovely to meet you. Continued success to you and good health to your partner and, of course, the aunt that started it all on fire for us. There is such an incredible history and tradition behind the Hebridean Baker. I hope you go check it out. Now, don't go anywhere. We're sending things over to Hollywood next to get a behind-the-scenes look at Black Bag. We'll be right back. You're watching Arkansas Style.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back to Arkansas Style. Yesterday, Michael gave Black Bag a standout rating, and today we're taking you even deeper with an up-close look at the film straight from the cast and crew. KTLA's Dul Coke sat down with the stars. Let's check it out.
Where are you off to? Black Bag. Right. You asked how it works. To be with someone in this business, this is how.
It's not your typical espionage film in the sense that it's more of a mental thriller.
You each know what you know, and you know what you'll do, and you never discuss certain things again. You know that at the core of the story is this marriage. I watch her, I assume she watches me. We've talked about it quite a bit, about how sort of isolated and lonely this sort of profession can make one feel. I would do anything for you.
Would you?
Yes.
If a situation presents itself, would you choose your marriage over everything else?
My devotion to my marriage is my professional weakness. Love you.
They thrive in an environment where they're being tested and challenged, because it's like they play intellectual psychological poker.
You got a breach.
What did you do? Find the leak.
How long do you think you'll need? 1 week. Who's the suspect?
Your wife.
It is all about the loneliness of these people and how they balance their humanity against their job. And I think this film really hones in on that.
I can feel when you're watching me.
Sorry.
I like it.
I need a satellite redirect, but this has to be unofficial.
You are one naughty husband, George. But it's also, I think it's a love story.
You think this isn't normal?
Is it true? No one can lie to you?
I don't like liars. If it is Catherine, do you really think you can do it? I don't know.
It's a very dangerous line of work.
I'll say.
So there is this tense psychological thread throughout where you watch this group of people mercilessly manipulate each other for a tight 90 minutes. And at the end, hopefully you've guessed who done it before we tell you.
Would you kill for me, George? Would you?
With your entertainment report, I'm Doug Kolk.
Now, Chris Norwood is back in the studio to help us say goodbye to winter and hello to spring with a gorgeous floral arrangement. Stay tuned for his expert tips and tricks. You're watching Arkansas Style.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back to Arkansas Style. Spring is nearly here, and what better way to welcome the season than with a burst of color and fresh blooms? Our new friend, Chris Norwood, Little Rock's award-winning floral designer, is back in the studio today to share his expert tips for creating the perfect floral arrangement. Whether you're hosting an outdoor gathering or simply brightening up your space, Chris has got you covered. So grab your vases and get ready for a floral masterpiece. Chris, welcome back.
I promised you when I came back with the last time, you're going to do arrangement with me.
Well, all right, challenge accepted.
So I've already pre-cleaned a lot of it for you. So all you're going to do is just take your scissors and just a simple little bitty cutting there. Because anytime flowers are out of water and they're dry, they're taking up air. So that makes them wilt.
Yeah.
So you always want to get a little fresh cut. So you're going to work with some blueberry hydrangea. You're going to work with some peonies. But I'm from the country, and my grandma always called them peonies.
Oh.
So if you pay for them, they're peonies, but if they're out of your yard, they're peonies.
All right.
In the South. A little bit of clematis, a little bit of fresh kale. That's actually just like the kale you eat.
Mm-hmm.
So this is called baracus, which means, in Spanish, it means witch.
Oh.
But it's a beautiful garden rose. Look at the color of that.
Oh, wait, let's let Lo take a look at that. I love the design of it. I mean, wow, folks at home, check this out. This is a real live flower from Chris.
Yep.
This is incredible. You cannot find this kind of quality at your local retailer. This is something really special, and what you guys, are all about, really giving us different and unique.
Yeah, focused on something different and something you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And then we have some purple, or actually called blue anemones. Look at that, that's pretty.
Oh, gosh.
And then a little bit of leucanthus, purple leucanthus. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to do it from the start. So you always want to take off. I always say take all the leaves off the hydrangea.
Okay.
So that's those right there. I've taken most of those off for you, and we're going to cut those.
Yeah, that's another tip you taught me last time. Folks at home, so not only did Chris just remind you, you've got to trim the stems of your flowers, but Chris also taught me that these little buggers, let's hear it, we're going to find the camera here. These little buggers right here are going to help preserve your life of your hydrangeas if you take it off.
Exactly. Well, the leaf is taking up all the water, and you want the water to go to the head. So there's that.
Okay,
and
so am I copying you? Am I imitating you? Is that what's happening?
You can do whatever you want to do. there's no right or wrong.
Okay, all right.
But I'm going to go ahead and start. I've already pre-cut most of it, but you can always recut those stems.
With our peonies?
Yeah, with our peonies.
Uh-huh, all right.
There's that. And
My favorite flower.
Yeah.
I have to tell you. I mean, I dealt with the ants, bringing them in the house at the springtime because I loved them. And you know what I did? Tell me if this is right. So when I would bring them in the house from my bush, my peony bush outside, I would literally drown the flower in a sink of water, and then all the ants.
Yeah, gets rid of the ants. And also, if you have a really tight bud, and you want it to open pretty quick, do the same thing. Take it in there and twist it around the water. It makes it pop open.
No.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's a fun fact.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're going to do these.
You're onto the roses.
Onto the roses.
The witches.
The witches, that's right. But we always want to make sure you don't have any foliage in the water.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because it's going to start them have the bacteria grow, and you always have like dirty water. Well, you don't want to put flowers in anything you wouldn't drink yourself.
Oh my!
Because it's going to clog the stem up.
Okay.
So I always want to get that done.
All right. Do you have a favorite flower?
I really enjoy all flowers. I don't really have one or the other.
Yeah, it's like picking a favorite child.
Yeah. Can't do that.
Oh, I can.
Well, you can.
Depends on the day of the week, which kid I like better.
You can, but you're going to pay for it later, trust me, because I've had that happen to me before. They're like, well, you said she was your favorite. So anyway, there's that. We're going to add a little bit of purple leucanthus.
Okay, this has now become my favorite new flower. What is this?
And you know the cool thing about it, what you're going to...
They look like poppies.
They are, well, they're anemones.
Okay.
But the cool thing about that, there's all different varieties now. They all have like multiple petals, multiple colors, which as we are on here more often, hopefully, we'll be able to show you all those new varieties, because that's what we're focused on now, is fun and new varieties of flowers.
Okay, hands down, my new favorite flower. What's it called again?
Anemone.
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 All right.
And this is clematis. This is stuff that grows in your yard around the fence.
Oh, yes, we do have that.
That's probably not in this color.
Okay, beautiful.
So let me show you a little quick trick about this. So see this one? What you could do is you actually go in there, see how long that is? You could go in there and cut that one right there and have that be for length. And then you could go back and take this longer stem and put that in the top instead of wasting that whole stem.
You got a twofer.
You got a twofer.
Okay.
Exactly. Let me spin this around. So that's so what you probably want to do is you always want to go back when you finish and pull that penny out so they can show up the most, because that's 9 times out of 10 going to be your most expensive flower if it didn't come out of your yard.
Okay, all right.
So you want to spin that around like that. There you go. How you doing? You're doing good.
I am in my happy place
Well,
right now. Let me tell you, this is your job. If I come back in another life, this is what I want to do, is just work with flowers. It just brings me nothing but joy.
We're always looking for good help. So
all right, well, let's talk about your new place, because you are the hot property in town. Tell us about your new store.
We are so excited. We have been so blessed by the community support. We are on 7509 Cantrell Road. We are right by Edwards, and in between Edwards and Roy Dudley's. Everybody knows where that is.
All right.
So anyway, come in and see us, and we're open, well, we're open 6 days, but most of the time we're open 7 days, seems like right now, but that's okay. We've got to take care of our customers. So anyway.
And what kind of services are you providing?
We're a full-service florist, full-service event company. As far as I'm fixing to run and set up another event this afternoon. So anyway, yeah.
You are a busy man.
We've
well,
been
I
very
just
blessed.
cannot thank you enough for becoming a part of Arkansas Style here.
I'm super excited.
You know, my Aunt Betty taught me how to put flowers together, and she used to call it felony florist, because she would go on the side of the road and pick the wildflowers.
Well, I have a new home now, because I've had a home somewhere else. Now I have a new home here. So there you go.
Well, we couldn't be more thrilled, and thank you for teaching me some things that I didn't really know about flowers.
We're gonna put it. I'm actually gonna let you keep this one. You can tell everybody you made it. We're gonna put it right over there. Look, it goes with your color palette too.
It really does. All right, anemone.
Anemone
is my new favorite flower.
Anemone. Yeah.
All right, well, Chris, a whole lot of fun. Thanks for coming in. Enjoy our time
Always
together.
Happy to be here.
We'll see you soon.
All right. Sounds
terrific.
Great.
Spring has never looked so good. If you want to create your own floral masterpieces or grab some fresh arrangements for the house, be sure to visit norwoodday.com or stop by their store off Cantrell Road. Now, what's it like to experience a beachside firelit sunset all bottled in fragrance? We'll introduce you to the sophisticated essence of Sunwash Santal from Bath & Body Works next. Stick around, you're watching Arkansas Style.
Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back to Arkansas Style. Immerse yourself in the sophisticated, rich, warm, and exotic fragrance of sun-washed Santal. Bath & Body Works has created a fragrance experience of watching a sunset sitting by the glow of a fire on the beaches of eastern India. Notes of fresh citrus, soft floral, and warm woody elements. This essence will absolutely captivate you. This, I'm telling you, of all of the fragrances that I have experienced with Bath & Body Works, this is going to chart at the top because it has all the elements of the things that I love and I think you will love too. Again, when I say it's a really sophisticated fragrance, it really just wraps you in this warm scent of that woody amber, but also you've got these really beautiful notes of white violet and a little bit of citrus as well. So we've got an incredible suite to tour, and let me start off at the top with our favorite product du jour. It is the laundry detergent and fragrance booster from Bath & Body Works. Folks at home, if you are going to treat yourself to something this week, a little self-care, please take my advice. This will literally change your life. It is that incredible. You've got a really, really thick detergent, and then you've got the fragrance booster crystals that go along with it. It's a really concentrated formula, and I'm telling you, the fragrance will emanate throughout your entire home, and as you put on your clothes or wrap yourself in a nice bath towel after getting out of the shower, you are going to experience this fragrance like never before. These detergents work in high efficiency machines and also in cold water. I just cannot overstate the experience that you will enjoy trying these detergents. Please, if you're going to treat yourself to anything recently, this is the product to get. And again, in this sun-washed Santal, this fragrance is absolutely everything. All right, well, I just can't tell you how much I love it. It's amazing. All right, so again, we've got an incredible suite. Now, the Bath & Body Works candles, I mean, this is America's favorite candle. It is, you've got the 3-wick option, and you've also got the 1-wick option, depending on how much fragrance you want to emanate in the air. These 1-wick candles go so beautifully in a powder room, but if you get the 3-wick candle, what's great is you can light 1 wick, 2 or 3 wicks, depending on, again, how much fragrance you want and how long you want the candle to last. So if you only light it, for the 1 wick, of course it's going to last a lot longer. But again, you're getting this beautiful essence, and look at the vessels they come in. This 3-wick comes in this really, really kind of dusty taupe, really a neutral color. Absolutely amazing. It is America's favorite candle for a very, very good reason. All right, well, now that we've kind of brightened up your home with some really beautiful fragrances, how about a room spray? This is a terrific option. We love having it here in Studio B because it just gives this little burst of really, really fine mist, and I'm telling you, it floats in the entire air and really covers a very large space of area. So again, if you're expecting guests, just a little burst of this right at the front door, it greets them with this really light, delicate fragrance. Again, this sun-washed Santal is absolutely everything. Now, if you want to carry that fragrance with you, this fine fragrance mist in these plastic bottles is one of my favorites. If you've got a high schooler that, has a gym bag or a gym locker, this is such a great piece to have to send them along with, because again, it just really emanates in the air, gives a little bit of fine fragrance mist, and you've got that really, really delicate, kind of a soft linen fragrance that you're getting with the sun-washed Santal. Now, if, of course, you want to fill the room all day long and all night long, you've got great plug-in options. And you've got body wash, the foaming hand soap, which is the best product I think Bath & Body Works offers, because you wash your hands, you get a great foam going, and again, that essence just stays on the skin after your hands are nice and clean. Now, of course, you've got the ultimate hydrating body cream in this fragrance too. It just absolutely drinks in your skin, and you've got that really, really delicious fragrance. I just can't tell you enough how much this sun-washed Santal fragrance, you are going to absolutely love it. Now again, this scent is flying off the shelves, so don't wait. Stock up before it's gone. You can find Sunwash Santal in all your favorite products, from 3-wick candles, room spray, and even laundry scent boosters. So head to bathandbodyworks.com to start shopping today. Now, can physical intimacy actually help resolve conflicts in the heat of the moment? We're breaking it down next with relationship expert Charlie Simpson. Stay with us. You're watching Arkansas Style.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back to Arkansas Style. Conflicts are a natural part of any relationship, but how we handle them can make all the difference. Today, we're tackling a hot topic many couples wrestle with. Can physical intimacy actually help diffuse conflicts in the moment? To break it all down, we've got Charlie Simpson from the Arkansas Relationship Counseling Center, our very own potion for your emotion. Welcome, Charlie. Let's get right into it. Can physical and sexual intimacy, can it really help diffuse a situation?
Yeah, you know, there's some advantages and disadvantages. These are those couples that you see on TV. They'll be in a conflict and then all of a sudden just start passionately kissing and then end up making love. And you know, there's some benefits, and there's some, and the biggest benefit is that there's a lot of connection that happens, you know, for those couples, a lot of closeness. It does help reduce the stress in the moment when a couple is in the conflict. So for the couples that can make that work, you know, definitely try it out and just see what happens.
All right, well, it could be a quick fix, I guess, is maybe the best way of describing it, but can it heal kind of deeper conflict resolution?
That's the disadvantage. You know, I got the slogan, you know, don't just kiss it out, but you got to talk it out. And what we mean by that is no matter how passionate and how intimate it can be in that moment, you still have to find ways to be able to go to the deeper root of whatever is causing the conflicts. What typically happens is physical intimacy just kind of puts a Band-Aid on it. It is a pretty good temporary fix, but you do have to eventually get to the deeper root of the conflicts, be able to talk about it, and make sure that we are bringing closure to those the deeper conflicts.
Yeah, you don't want to sweep that stuff under the rug.
Oh, definitely.
What happens in physical intimacy, you know, physically that, you know, makes us feel closer?
Yeah, it's that oxytocin. We call it the love drug. But, you know, when you first start out with, you know, the person that you're dating, there's a lot of the love chemical that flows, and then even just being close, there's a lot of connection that happens in there. But that love drug, it helps reduce the stress, it helps reduce the tension, it keeps the couple connected and close. So it is very important to make sure that that physical connection is a part of the relationship. You just also want to make sure that you don't use it to just overcompensate healthy communication.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the communication, obviously that is the key. Yeah. How do we balance the difference between the physical intimacy, that quick fix, and then the communication?
It's understanding just the importance of the physical intimacy, and also understanding the importance of being able to communicate. And, you know, we have to talk first and then love later, and it goes in that order, because we have to understand how to communicate and get through difficult moments to keep the love going, to keep the physical intimacy going. What typically happens is if we lose confidence in the communication, we'll find ourselves kind of slowly drifting away physically, and you know, for those couples, it can become very, very challenging.
I feel like this topic just has so many facets to it, really and truly, because a lot of people will use sex as a weapon. A lot of people will use sex as a bargaining chip. A lot of people will use sex to almost sell yourself the love, like you'll love me if I do this for you. So I mean, there's just a lot of it. But on the surface, if you're a healthy couple and you just have your typical little disagreements, I think this is kind of one of those tools in the toolbox that you might want to use.
There's nothing wrong with it. You want to utilize it in certain moments to just kind of bring the connection, to kind of diffuse a conflict in the moment. Those are helpful tips, for those couples. More importantly, if we find ourselves constantly trying to utilize sex to cover up the deeper rooted issues, it can linger on over time. And then what typically will happen is the physical intimacy will start to decrease, and those deeper rooted issues will start to glare a little bit more and become more stressful for that couple.
Yeah, and this is the one thing that as couples together we share and nobody else can take away from us, right? And so it really is important to prioritize that in the relationship, because that is the one thing that the two of you have together. But kind of going back to using it as conflict resolution, I have a funny story. My girlfriend, Amy, so their kids were very young. They set up a tent in the master suite, and the kids, slept over, whatever. And then the tent stayed in the master suite for the week or whatever. And she kept, Peter, take down the tent, and then one day Peter wanted to get a little frisky, and she turns around and she points to the tent. As soon as that goes,
we'll talk then.
Conflict resolution.
I mean, and that just goes back to, no matter how hard, how good the quality or the quantity of the sex is, those deeper rooted, those conflicts still have to be addressed.
That tent came down real fast.
It did.
Well, great to see you, Charlie.
Good here.
If you need some help implementing the talk first, love later mentality into your relationship, you can always reach out to Charlie and his team of licensed therapists at the Arkansas Relationship Counseling Center by simply scanning the QR code on your screen or by visiting arkansasrelationshipcenter.com. Now, don't go anywhere. We're taking a second look at Heather Boschke's most recent Joy Corner topic, protecting your energy. We'll be right back. You're watching Arkansas Style.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
A really important question to ask you today. Do you ever end your day feeling completely emotionally and physically drained, or maybe even starting your day that way? Well, we have Heather Boschke today in the Joy Corner to talk to us about protecting our energy. All right, girl, take it away.
Okay, so what does protecting your energy even mean, and why is this important? Each and every one of us is a living ball of energy, and we know this because we can feel it. We feel each other's energy. And there are those living Eeyores where life is always a downer and it makes you feel heavy and tired and drained, whereas people who have a passion and a zest for life and a sparkle in their eye make you feel inspired and ready to tackle the world. So protecting your energy is about preserving your mental, your emotional, spiritual, and physical resources and using them on what really matters to you. And it's important because when we don't protect our energy, we risk burnout, stress, and exhaustion. And when this happens, we operate from a place of resentment and depletion. So when you feel overwhelmed, fatigued, irritable, mentally foggy, you are in the danger zone of energetic drainage. You might notice that you're constantly giving but not receiving. Certain people or situations may leave you heavy rather than inspired. And when you start feeling disconnected from your passion or joy, those are red flags, which means it's time to step back and recharge. By protecting our energy, we can stay focused and be our best and most loving selves for the people and things that truly matter to us.
Truly matters is, an understatement. The way you just described that, I don't know anybody who has not felt that way. And some people are living in that lane and that operating of resentment because their energy is so depleted. Really, it speaks to a lot of people. Okay, how about some great rituals or habits to flip the script?
Okay, I've got 4 for you. The first one is practice grounding. And you can do this any place, anytime, and I usually do this with my eyes closed. And what I do is I sit still and I imagine roots growing from my feet. I send them down into the earth and imagine them spreading wide and deep. And as I breathe, I send any anxious, overwhelmed, or negative energy down through those roots and into the earth. And then I draw energy and positivity up through those roots and into my body. This is a simple practice that takes seconds. You can do it before meetings, after conversations, before bed. Anytime you want to give the earth anything that isn't serving you and pull up that nurturing and nourishing energy. Number 2, with the chaos of the world, another way to protect your energy is to be selectively uninformed. Most of what comes through the news and social media does not move you towards your goals. It takes way more than it gives. So stop trying to keep up with everything. And if you must look at the news, time yourself, do it for 5 minutes, and then I would recommend practicing grounding right after. Number 3, fall in love more. Love is one of the highest vibrating states of being and has the power to pull us out of the deepest of places. Fall in love with your house, fall in love with your body, fall in love with your coffee in the morning. And this love energy is real. Time after time, kids have demonstrated the power of love in science projects. I know I did this as a kid. With germinating seeds, where you talk positively to one seed and talk negatively to the other, plant seeds under the influence of the positive words had a higher germination rate. Those plants grew taller, larger, more healthy than those in negative environments. We are all like these little plants, and we need to operate from a place of love. And number 4, we've talked about the B word before, setting boundaries. We have got to say no to the things that don't align with our values or priorities. And if this is hard for you, maybe give yourself a goal. Like, I've got a friend who is trying to practice boundaries, and so her goal is to say no to 3 things every month, and she's keeping track. And boundaries also include taking breaks throughout the day so that you're able to reset.
It's so exciting. What a great conversation. You talk about a friend. I just had a conversation with a friend last night who is doing the right thing by his family, okay, but it is becoming a drain on him. So while he, is taking that energy and putting it in the right place, it's taking away from his own personal commitments and obligations. What kind of, habits or rituals or advice would you give to somebody like that?
Protecting our energy starts with recognizing that we cannot pour from an empty cup. And what we are filled with spills out onto the world. So if we are filled with anger and frustration and resentment, that's going to spill out on the world. If you are filled with joy and love and inspiration, that's what's going to spill out on the world. And if you want to spill out the good stuff, you need to take time to fill up with the good stuff. In professional settings, it's essential to practice those boundary setting techniques and effective communication. And when you're dealing with demanding people, you can protect your energy by managing expectations. And the yes and is a beautiful way to do this. So if you are being given another task that honestly, you can't do all of the things, you can simply say, yes, I can do that. And that means the month-end report is going to be a little late. So yes, and yes, you can do it, but it's going to come at the cost of something else. Another thing, we have to also set boundaries around our availability. For example, if we are sending non-urgent emails in the evening or on the weekends, that is signaling that evening and weekend time is okay work time for you. And it might be, but if it's not, don't do that. And we have to also practice not taking things personally. Sometimes we feel zapped by others because we are internalizing their issues and making it about us. And lastly, if you are always feeling your energy is being pulled away from you, identify the life-giving forces in your life. It could be people or places or your fur baby, and make more time for them. And another really key question to ask is, Are you losing yourself, or are you finding yourself in your relationships? Losing yourself indicates depletion, and finding yourself is growth and expansion. Our energy is a life force, and we must guard it so that we can be used for the highest good. And you can think of all of your experiences as withdrawals and deposits. Pay attention to what is feeding your energy, those deposits, versus the withdrawals. And we all have to do things that withdraw our energy, but being able to ground ourselves and practice ways of restoring our energy will keep our life force optimized. Because when we protect our energy, we also protect our joy.
So great. What an important reminder. Thanks for sharing, Heather. I hope you found our conversation enlightening and helpful, and I want you to be sure to protect your energy. We'll be right back after this. You're watching Arkansas Style.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Thank you all so much for joining us today, and to all of our guests and sponsors who joined us in studio. Now, don't forget to follow us on social media or visit our website for all things Arkansas Style. We will see you all again next time with love. Mwah.
Watching Arkansas Style with Nicole Neiman. Furniture provided by Hanks Fine Furniture. Nicole's wardrobe coordinated by Style Me Stephanie.